away. We kind of grade ourselves each week on every aspect of the game, third and short, third and medium, third and long, and everything. We go down the line. You can kind of see if we convert on all those, we're doing what we have to do. When we don't convert on some of those, then there's stuff we have to work on. And that's kind of how we grade ourselves each week. And college football is weird. You have these teams that are ranked really high, and you have these teams that aren't ranked, but they're all good. I've been on teams. I was on a team that lost to Appalachian State, and then I was on a team that beat Florida the same year. Each week it's different. And the talent, you think that the talent's going to be so much better on a number 1 or number 2 ranked team, and there are better players, but everyone can play. Everyone that's playing college football is a good player, and you have guys on OU that can play on some of these bigger programs.
Have you noticed DeVere getting a little excited going against his brother? I think he and Julian are going head-to-head maybe on Saturday.
Yeah, I haven't really talked to DeVere, but I'm sure that'd be interesting. It's interesting, me playing with my brother. I can't imagine playing against him, especially going one-on-one the entire game. So that's going to be pretty crazy for him.
Would you be jawing a little bit with
Absolutely.
Zach if he was on the other side?
We might get in a fight. We might both get thrown out if we were playing against each other.
Justin, I know each game week to week is your focus, but I'm sure playing in the NFL is a goal of yours. I'm sure if you haven't read the list you've been told about, I'll read a list that says Justin Boren is like the number 1 draft eligible junior, or at least the top 5. When you hear stuff like that, what's your take on that?
Basically I'll worry about that after the season. That's really what I think. It's great. It's definitely been a goal of mine, but right now our goal is to win a national championship. And I think that's one thing about this group of guys is, we have a lot of NFL caliber guys on this team, but I don't think anyone's really looking towards that. They're looking, we got to win each week before we worry about that.
Do you feel like you're playing up to that level, though? Do you feel like that's that you belong in that group, in that discussion?
I think so. There's things I have to work on. But, I think so.
Just talking about your brother, it seemed like there were more than a handful of plays of the day where you would pull and he would lead a guy through a hole and there'd be 2 Borens there taking on linebackers. I imagine you don't notice who's blocking next to you while you're doing it, but I don't know. When you look back on film and you see a little Boren wall there or something,
for sure, cool? It is cool, and it's something we take for granted. But then, when we see that, and I look over in the huddle and Zach's there, it's kind of crazy. I'll watch film, and we'll both kind of have a key block on a run, and I think that is cool. But I'm not really looking. Sometimes I get asked stuff after the game, like, "Do you see that block?" I was like, if I saw Zach's block, then I wouldn't have been doing my job. I don't want to be watching other guys block. But it is neat. It's really neat.
Did Kobe ever critique you?
No, sometimes he'll give me crap, but he doesn't really critique me. Kobe's a little competitive son of a gun, man. He fights with Zach and I. We go back home, it's the most competitive atmosphere ever. We're always going at who's better at what. The most minor stuff, we're fighting about.
This could be, I think normally it would be a chance to overlook a team, but I think, this year with the guys that we have and, the leaders and the seniors that we have, I think, we'll get our young guys, ready to play on Saturday.
Well, Dexter, emotion's one element of it, but is there a different element? Do you all defensively look at what you did against Miami, having watched the film now, and are you seeing specific things you want to go back on the field on Saturday and try to fix?
Definitely. We always make mistakes, out there, and it appeared, a good game. We held them to 10 points and stuff like that. But our goal is, to hold, don't let people in the end zone. Don't let those, touchdowns happen. So there's always things that we can work on. There's always things that we can do better at, and we've just been focused on improving and getting things corrected.
I think it was an oddity to have 2 defensive ends get interceptions in the same game.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's kind of part of our defense. We're looking for try to get in that quarterback's head. Hit him hard. Get pressure on him, and then all of a sudden drop guys that you wouldn't expect to drop, and get guys in situations to make plays. And I think that was one of the best things that we saw is guys getting those picks, all of a sudden making those big plays that a couple of years ago maybe we hadn't have made before in those big games.
What was the team attitude Sunday and Monday? That was a pretty major hurdle. I don't think there was any disagreement with anybody. But they look at that particular game and that opponent as being a major hurdle before a number of other hurdles that are to come. But what was the attitude generally among the team getting past that stage?
I think the attitude was, we did a good job. We did what we needed to do. We did, what had to be done. But, I was kind of proud of the guys, that they didn't really think that was all of a sudden, they're, the best ever. some teams, can all of a sudden you win a big game like that, and all of a sudden you think that, you're so good that, you can't be beat or something like that. But, I saw a lot of guys come in, watch film, get in the weight room, get, extra work done, and really understand that this is, a long season, and that, every week we're going to be battling because, guys are going to be giving us their best shot. Other teams are going to come in, to the shoe, or if we're on the road or anything like that, and just come in and give us our best shot. So, I thought it was, we handled it very well. We'll see, I guess, Saturday.
Dexter, Mike Booster told a few of us after the game that he was exhausted and he felt like it was the hardest he had seen an Ohio State team play since he's been here. If that's true, if you agree with that, or even if it's somewhat true, why? I mean, why did all the motivational stuff work so well this week to make you guys play super hard, if you will?
Well, I think, our guys, have that, national championship, in their minds. That's, what we want to accomplish. That's not what we, completely focus on. We focus on the next game. But, in the back of our minds, we're thinking constantly, if we're going to get this done, if we're going to do it this year, then we need to win this game. And, this was a very important game. The past 2 years against USC, we hadn't been successful in the, second week of the season. So I think a lot of guys, had a lot to prove, this year. That this year was going to be different, that this year, we're going to come out and we're going to, play our hardest, play our best, and, really get after it.